Arts, Quarter 2, Module 3, Representative Artists from Renaissance and Baroque Periods. Let's get to know the famous Renaissance artists and their artworks. Michelangelo di Lodovico Buonarroti Simoni. Michelangelo was an Italian sculptor, painter, architect, and poet. He was considered the greatest living artist in his lifetime, and ever since then he was considered as one of the greatest artists of all time. One of his best-known works, the Pieta, was sculpted before he turned 30. It is represented by the seated Madonna holding Christ's body in her arms. Leonardo di Ser Piero da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci was a painter, architect, scientist, and mathematician. He was popularized in present times through the novel and movie Da Vinci Code. He is known as the ultimate Renaissance man because of his intellect, interest, talent, and his expression of humanist and classical values. His well-known work was the Mona Lisa, the most famous and most parodied portrait. Raffaello Sanzio de Urbino, or Raphael. Raphael was an Italian painter and architect of the High Renaissance period. His work was admired for its visual achievement of interpreting the divine and incorporating Christian doctrines. One of his famous works was the Transfiguration, the last painting on which he worked on up to his death. The subject is combined with an additional episode from the Gospel in the lower part of the painting. Donato di Niccolo di Beto Bardi, or Donatello. Donatello was an early Renaissance Italian sculptor from Florence. He is known for his work in bas-relief, a form of shallow relief sculpture. Among his famous work was David, the first known freestanding nude statue produced since ancient times. Let us get to know the famous Baroque artists and their artworks. Michelangelo Merisi, or Amerigo de Caravaggio. He was better known as Caravaggio. He was an Italian artist who has started out as a specialist in his paintings of still life, especially of fruits. Among his famous paintings was Conversion of St. Paul. It is a well-known biblical story that depicts when Paul fell off his horse on the road to Damascus, seeing a blinding light and hearing the voice of Jesus. Gian Lorenzo Bernini. Bernini was an Italian artist and the first Baroque artist. He practiced architecture and sculpture, painting, stage design, and was also a playwright. As a prodigy, his first artworks date from his 8th birthday. The famous Ecstasy of Saint Teresa was his greatest achievement. It depicts the life of Teresa of Avila, a mystical Carmelite reformer and nun, as she encountered an angel with a spear. Peter Paul Rubens. Rubens was a Flemish Baroque painter. He was well known for his paintings of mythical and figurative subjects, portraits, and Counter-Reformation altarpieces. One of his famous works was Portrait of Helen Forment, his second wife. She was the subject of a few portraits by Rubens and also modeled for other religious and mythological paintings. Rembrandt Harmenzoon van Rijn. Rembrandt was a brilliant Dutch realist, painter, and etcher. Rembrandt depicted the more personal aspects of the painter, his own home and his family. The artist has painted himself as often as did Rembrandt. His well-known work was his self-portrait in old age. It has been noted as a work in which may be seen the wrinkled brow and the word expression the troubled condition of his mind. Diego Velázquez. Velázquez of Spain was one of the most important painters of the Spanish Golden Age. The passion for still life frequently emerges in Velázquez's art. He worked out solutions to pictorial problems of design that transcend the style of any period. Among his famous work was Las Meninas, Maid of Honor. It focuses on the young Infanta Margaret Theresa, who was surrounded by her entourage.